They say the moment that changes your life arrives quietly. Mine arrived as a scream and a splash. I was smiling at a ballroom full of crystal and money when a woman in a royal blue gown, heir to a family empire, tilted her glass and poured white wine down my face like I was a stain she needed to bleach out of the room. Before we continue, if you're watching for the first time, Elliot Stories welcomes you with a warm hug. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and tell us the city you're watching from. I didn't stand up at first. The liquid was cold, sharp in my nose, dripping off my eyelashes onto my plate, each drop a tiny drumbeat on porcelain. Flashbulbs stuttered. Someone gasped. Someone else laughed, that brittle, expensive kind of laugh that ricochets off chandeliers. I could smell lilies from the centerpiece, lemon from the wine, and heat from my own skin rising in a flush. "Oops," she said, smiling like a mirror with teeth. "Didn't see you there." I looked at her, blonde waves perfectly pinned, diamond earrings like small suns, and felt the old lesson stir inside me. When people hand you a stage, decide what play you're performing. My jaw trembled. My hands didn't. I took the linen napkin, dabbed my cheek, and said, "You did. You absolutely did." Her brother, the billionaire whose name crowned the gala, leaned forward. "Arya, apologize." The room hushed in a way that wasn't silence but pressure. She rolled her eyes. "It's just, she bumped me." I hadn't moved. My chair legs were still aligned with the carpet's gold pattern, a perfect rectangular witness. I glanced toward the giant screen where my company's logo had been rotating all night. Revel, the tech startup I'd poured 6 years and 3 lifetimes into. Tonight, we were to announce a historic partnership with their family group. $2.4 billion. Expansion into 7 countries. Hundreds of new jobs. I had practiced the speech until my throat felt threaded. A waiter hurried over with a towel. Miso, Daniel, stood behind him, fists clenched, face flushed dark. "Say the word," he whispered. "Meaning, we leave. Meaning, we flip the table. Meaning, we burn it all down." But I remembered my grandmother's voice from a church pew in Louisiana. "Baby, some rooms don't expect you to stand. That's why you must stand tall and slow." I rose. My chair legs kissed the carpet goodbye. "Arya," I said, keeping my voice soft, "you can have your moment, or we can all have a better one." Her smile flickered. A few cameras lowered. I saw the billionaire brother, Ethan, study me like a chessboard he'd misread. "Arya," he repeated, quietly this time, "apologize." She lifted her chin. "For what?" "For forgetting you were raised," I said. It slipped out before I could edit it. The tables inhaled at once. Her jaw hardened. "You think—" "I think we all came to build something beautiful tonight," I interrupted. "And I won't let you break it." Ethan stood. "Ms. Blake," he said to me, my name like a truce, "would you join me backstage before the announcement?" I hesitated, feeling the wine chilling into a tacky varnish on my skin. I nodded. As he led me away, the ballroom's whispering followed like a tide pulling at my dress. I didn't know it yet, but the tide was turning in a way none of us would survive untouched. Backstage smelled like cables and coffee. A security guard pressed a warm towel into my hands. I wiped slowly, watching a thin gold line of eyeliner streak across the fabric like a wound closing. Ethan paced, phone in hand, jaw flexing. "I'm sorry," he said finally. "My sister, she's impulsive." "Your sister is a grown woman with a drink and a choice," I replied. "And a microphone of a last name." He stopped. "You're right." He swallowed. "The announcement goes on. I'll handle her." I wanted to believe him. I needed to. Revel wasn't just numbers and software. It was the promise I'd made to my mother when she was dying, that I would build something big enough to fund scholarships in our town, to hire girls who never saw their names on office doors. This deal was blueprint and brick all at once. 5 minutes, a stage manager called. "Ms. Blake, your slides are loaded." Ethan stepped closer. "I admire you," he said, the words even and careful. "And I won't let one person's behavior take this away." He was still speaking when Arya burst in like a storm that preferred chandeliers to rain. "You can't be serious," she snapped, pointing at me. "She's playing the victim, Ethan." "Again." "Again?" I asked. She laughed. Please. You think we haven't seen your press? Every time you're the headline. And now you're lucky enough to dine with us and, what? Stage a scene. The security guard shifted forward, but Ethan held up a hand. Aria. Enough. She stepped into my space so close I could see the outline of her contact lenses. You don't belong in our circles, she whispered. A charity table seat doesn't make you family. I felt something hot and old rise in me, the memory of a high school counselor who suggested I practice being less direct, of an investor who once asked if I could soften my hair for meetings. I planted my feet. I'm not trying to be family, I said. I'm here to be a partner. Partners are equals, she sneered. And you? Ethan grabbed her arm. Stop, he hissed. You're not just cruel, you're stupid. You're risking the deal. She jerked free. The board already voted, she said, a wicked light in her eyes. You forgot that, didn't you? They voted no. Hours ago. I saw the memo. The room tilted. That's impossible, I said. We negotiated the final terms this afternoon. Your GC signed. She shrugged. Then maybe you negotiated with the wrong brother. Ethan paled. His phone buzzed. He read the screen, exhaled a wordless curse, and looked at me. They called an emergency session, he said. Concerns about reputational risk. He swallowed hard. Aria leaked the rumor last night that our team only considered your company because you're... He couldn't finish. Because I'm black, I said for him. The word hit the concrete floor like metal. Silence followed it. Aria folded her arms. I didn't say that, she replied sweetly. But I can't help what people hear. For a second, I couldn't feel my body. Then the feeling roared back, heart galloping, ears ringing, palms going cold, that familiar dizziness of rage meeting humiliation. Daniel stepped into the doorway, searching my face. We're up, he mouthed. I stared at Ethan. Is it true? I asked. Is the deal dead? His eyes softened, then steadied like he'd strapped his heart to a chair. The board wants to pause pending review, he said. Pause, I repeated, hollow. $2.4 billion on a shelf labeled later, the most dangerous word in business. He reached for my arm. I stepped back. Go on, Aria said, chin lifted. Tell the room how unfair it is. Cry. Maybe you'll trend. Something inside me clicked into a gear past anger. Cool. Clear. Surgical. No, I said quietly. I think I'll speak. When I walked back onto that stage, the ballroom was louder than before, buzzing bees outside a glass jar. My hair was still damp. My pride wasn't. I gripped the podium and smiled, small but real. Good evening, I began. I'm Ava Blake, founder and CEO of Revel. We came here tonight to announce a partnership that would have changed the shape of our industry. Instead, I want to announce something else, what we will not be. The room settled. People leaned in. Cameras focused. We will not be a company that needs anyone's last name to validate our work, I said. We will not be a success story that apologizes for how it looks or who leads it. And we will not pretend that humiliation is a kind of networking, because it isn't. It's just cruelty, and it's boring. Across the room, Aria stiffened. Ethan stared at the floor, hands knotted. I continued. Some of you saw what happened to me at that table. I'm not here to replay it. I'm here to tell you what happened to my people before we dressed up. Engineers who slept in the office for 18-hour sprints, a single mom on our data team who coded with her baby on her chest, interns who canceled vacations to meet impossible deadlines. I promised them tonight would be the door we all walked through together. I paused. It still will be. Just not the door we planned. A ripple of murmurs. Daniel edged closer to the stage, eyes gleaming. I glanced at him and felt steadier. I believe in markets, I said. And I believe in character. For anyone who shares those beliefs, we'll meet you outside, in the lobby, in 15 minutes. I'll show you our numbers, our prototypes, our roadmap. If you want to build something beautiful, meet me where no one needs to pour anything on anyone else to feel tall. Then I stepped back. I didn't look for permission. The first person who stood was a woman with silver hair and a scar like a dash across her lip. "Miss Blake," she called, voice firm, "I'd like to see your deck." A man followed. Then another. Chairs scraped like waves. Not everyone rose. Enough did. As I left the stage, Aria's voice trailed after me. "This is ridiculous, Ethan. Stop her." His answer was a growl I couldn't hear. In the lobby, the air felt different, cooler, honest. Daniel laid out tablets, opened laptops, called up demos like a magician tossing scarves. I spoke until my throat burned, fielding questions that were real and hard and worthy. The scar-lipped woman, CEO of a fund I'd admired for years, grinned after our demo. "I don't like bullies," she said. "I do like returns. Send your term sheet tonight." By the end of the hour, we had 4 serious offers and a line of cards so thick it felt like a deck meant for a bigger game. When Ethan appeared at the edge of the crowd, he looked like a man who'd run through weather. "Ava," he said softly, "the board is panicking. They saw who walked out. They want to reconvene." My mouth tasted of iron and stubbornness. "I'm reconvened," I said, "with people who don't need my humiliation to feel safe." He nodded, shame clouding his eyes. "I can't fix Aria," he said. "But I can vote." He handed me his card. "If you want to talk later." I slid it into my pocket without promise. Aria, for her part, never came out. She'd forgotten the first law of power: crowd it too hard, and people look for exits. 2 weeks later, we signed a deal worth $2.6 billion. More money, better terms, and a clause that tied funding to scholarships in the very towns that raised me. The old board issued a press release about strategic differences. Investors read between the lines. Their stock dipped for the first time in years. The whisper across the industry was simple. They lost the deal because arrogance made them slow and cruelty made them stupid. I don't tell this story to brag. I tell it because humiliation is a thief that steals not only dignity but direction. That night, sitting in a soaked dress under a chandelier, I felt small for a heartbeat. Then I remembered I was not alone. My team, my mother's memory, the little girls in my town who needed a different headline. And I learned something I will never forget. When someone tries to drown you in public, don't waste breath on the water. Stand up, speak clearly, and build a bigger boat. The people who matter will climb aboard. The ones who don't, let them keep their small table and their smaller hearts. We have work to do, and a world to change.